Knicks fans haven't had much to be excited about in recent years, and one of their few bright spots, Kristaps Porzingis, tore his ACL last season and is likely to miss most of the upcoming season as he recovers. However, with some patience, there is a real chance that the Knicks will be legitimate Eastern Conference contenders in just 1 year's time, which is the topic of today's video. Today, I'll be discussing how and why there is a real chance that Jimmy Butler and Kyrie Irving team up in New York, putting them right up there with Boston and Philadelphia for the best teams in the conference moving forward. Before I get into it though, be sure to subscribe to the channel below, as all support is very much appreciated. Now, with that being said, let's get right into it. In case you haven't been following the news closely, Jimmy Butler is unhappy in Minnesota, and reports are saying that there is no chance he will sign an extension with the team. He is upset with Karl Anthony Towns' work ethic, him and Wiggins have seemingly never really gotten along, and overall, Butler just doesn't like the fact that neither of those two care all that much about the defensive end of the floor. This all means that, because he only has 1 year left on his current contract, this is the last season with the team. He will then become an unrestricted free agent next summer and get to choose his next home. This leaves the Timberwolves with a choice. They can either keep him this year, achieve as much team success as they possibly can with him this season, and then watch him leave next summer for nothing in return, or they can trade him and at least get some value in return for him. That's the Jimmy Butler situation. Now let's shift our focus over to Kyrie Irving and his situation. Kyrie Irving, currently on the Boston Celtics, is obviously one of the most dynamic offensive talents in the league. He has the best handles in the league, scores the ball at an incredibly efficient rate while simultaneously taking some very difficult shots in the process, and if he wasn't hurt in the playoffs, the Celtics might have gone to the finals with him last year. Because of all of that, along with the fact that he is only 26 years old and still has his entire prime ahead of him, he holds very high value. He is only under contract with the Celtics for 1 more season, and is set to become a free agent the same year as Jimmy Butler. Ideally, the Celtics would like to extend him, but Irving said in a recent interview that signing an extension with the team doesn't make sense, meaning he likely wants to become a free agent and test the waters. Unlike the Timberwolves though, the Celtics are highly unlikely to trade him. They feel good about their chances to re-sign him, and he is an important part of their team. That doesn't mean that he's guaranteed to return though, and the Celtics are taking a risk by going this route. Now that I've explained the situation, you're probably wondering what the connection between these two players is. Well, according to the Chicago Sun-Times, sources have said that Irving and Butler have developed a good relationship and want to team up. They want to build an elite backcourt, and that is exactly what they would be together. They could do so in Boston if the Celtics were willing to trade for Butler, because they have the assets to do so. But the tone around the Celtics this offseason has been that they are content with the core players they have, and are not really willing to give any of them up. This brings us to their connection to the Knicks. The Knicks have been down for quite some time, and excluding 1 year where Carmelo Anthony had his name in the MVP conversation, they really haven't been serious contenders in a long time. This summer, they hired David Fizz Dale as their head coach, and he has his sights set high. In the words of Fizz Dale himself, "I just feel like with the relationships we've built and our approach to the game and our view of players and the way we view guys and the way we treat guys and the culture we want to build, I really think we're going to find somebody who fits the bill. As we get our culture in place, injured all-star forward Kristaps Porzingis gets healthy, we start moving into next summer, I really feel like we'll have the bricks in place to make some big moves." It sure seems like Fizz Dale is ready to do whatever it takes to make the Knicks competitive again, and adding Irving and Butler would do just that. So now that we've established that the interest is mutual between both sides, how can this get done? We'll start with Butler. As I mentioned earlier, it would probably be in the best interest of the Wolves to trade him, and the Knicks could pounce at this opportunity. Everyone knows that the Timberwolves coach Tom Thibodeau loves bringing in his former players from when he coached the Bulls, and it just so happens that the Knicks have one of his former players in Joakim Noah. Noah's contract has proven to be terrible value for the Knicks, but if the Knicks pair him with perhaps another player and/or a few draft picks, Tibbs could be tempted to do that trade. The Knicks have a first and second round pick in each of the next 7 drafts, so they have assets to pair with some of their bad contracts to move. Kevin Knox is also a promising rookie that would intrigue the Timberwolves in a trade, because if they're going to be taking on Noah's bad contract, they will probably want more than a pick or two as the sweetener. A package of Joakim Noah, Kevin Knox, and a first-round pick, along with maybe a few other smaller things, should be enough to get the deal done, getting the Knicks started on their resurgence, and the Timberwolves a promising young player to grow alongside Cat and Andrew Wiggins. Now, if this deal gets done, and Kyrie Irving sees that Jimmy Butler and Kristaps Porzingis are waiting for him in New York, especially with the fact that the Knicks are set to have enough cap space to offer a max contract to someone in the summer of 2019, he will be very tempted to leave Boston. Additionally, the Celtics will have a decision to make that summer. Both Kyrie Irving and Terry Rozier are free agents at the same time, and Rozier had a bit of a coming-out party in this year's playoffs, so the Celtics might feel comfortable enough to sign Rozier instead of Irving long-term, because Rozier will not cost as much and is 2 years younger. If they're comfortable with Rozier, then Irving would join his friend Butler in New York to form a big three with Kristaps Porzingis. Having Kyrie Irving, Jimmy Butler, and Kristaps Porzingis on the same team will not only make the Knicks playoff contenders, but they would have a legit chance to win the East. Right now, the East seems like a two-man race between Boston and Philadelphia, and those teams could still make moves to improve as well, but the Knicks at full strength with this trio would have dynamic scoring, versatile defense, and great chemistry. And with that being said, that's all I have for you today. Be sure to like the video and subscribe to the channel for more content, and follow me on Twitter at hoopsreference. See you guys next video.